Okay, welcome everybody. My name is Michelle Skocek, and you are maybe watching this maybe live in our customer education group, the collective, or maybe somebody sent you this video, but you may be watching this because something sparked your interest in the possibility of maybe making some money with Young Living. But maybe you're not quite sure what that would look like or who exactly that's for. So that's what we're going to give you a little bit of idea about, and then you can decide. And now let me say, to start with, if you watch this and you decide that making more money or having a business isn't really for you, you can still you can use your sharing link and give that to a friend, and you'll earn a 25%, one-time 25% store credit toward your next Young Living order. You can always do that. Anybody can do that. Anybody with a Young Living account can do that. Whether or not you decide to take it a step further and do this as a business and then continue to earn regular commissions going forward, that's what today is about. So at any time you can upgrade to what we call a brand partner and continue to earn commissions when your customers order. So again, my name is Michelle, and 13 years ago, my family started using essential oils. I brought home these strange little bottles because we were kind of at our wits' end with certain sinus issues going on, and we were willing to try anything. And a friend had simply said a little phrase to me that has really stuck with me. Have you tried essential oils for that? And we hadn't. And I was like, oh, I need to see what that's all about. And we did. And it worked. And I realized like what is in those little bottles is like the missing active ingredient that we were needing. And so when I realized what I had my hands on, I called that friend of mine and I said, people need to know about this. Like, we should teach classes or whatever that was. Like, I wasn't even necessarily interested in making money. I was just like, people need to know about this. And so certainly didn't have any intention on building a business or anything like that. But I did want the leeway to be able to maybe order whatever I wanted. With whatever commissions that I earned. And then a little bit later, with a few more friends ordering, I realized that I was able to do a few more things. Like, we were homeschooling at the time. My kids were 7 and 9, like 6 and 8, 6 and 9. And I got to like order the curriculum that I wanted, and not just the homeschool curriculum that I had to resell at the end of the year. So as things went on, I got to do different things that I wanted to because I had a little bit more money to contribute into my family. So that's kind of how it started for me many years ago. And but originally it really just started with that thought that I just knew people needed to know about this. Like, I had learned something that was really effective, and it would be like, I just found myself saying, oh, you should try this. You should try this. And so, it was a way for me to help my friends with a product that I really loved, and a way for me to contribute to my family. So, today, or whenever you're watching this, I have some friends with me that have also done the same thing, and everybody has a little bit of a different story, a little bit of a different reason why they got started and what really motivated them to want to do this, want to tell a friend, and earn some extra money. And so I have two of those friends with me today. It wasn't even hard to talk them into doing this. They were easy yeses. So I want to introduce you to my friend Lauren, and I want you to hear her story too.
Hey, glad to be able to share a little bit about why I started using Young Living and specifically Young Living. I had seen other oils like in our local health food store or whatever, and I think I tried patchouli just because my little hippie heart was proud or excited to try it. I liked the smell, but I really didn't know anything about oils and how they could benefit our health. But about 9 years ago, so this was prior to being introduced to Young Living. About 9 years ago, my son, kind of like your situation, Michelle, was just constantly, it seemed like, being diagnosed with strep. And I was so frustrated as a mom. He was probably like 7 or 8 years old. And I just thought there's got to be something. There's got to be something that I'm doing or that I could be doing differently to not end up in this place where, we'd come back around and it's like, oh, well, we need antibiotics again. And I know there's a time and place. I'm not totally knocking, Western medicine altogether, but I just figured there has to be a better way. So a friend of mine introduced me to Thieves, and I went on a trip out of the country and we all stayed healthy, and I was kind of amazed. So came home and was like, I want to try that, but I don't just want that one. I want like the whole kit, and I want the diffusers and everything else. So I ordered my kit and got on loyalty the same month that I got my kit. And I started diffusing RC in my son's room every night. And his bedroom backs up to our bedroom. So he would cough during the night and I could hear it. So once we started using or diffusing RC in his room, it was like the coughing stopped. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's something to this. And at that point, I just had the one diffuser that came with the kit. So at night it went in his bedroom, and during the day I brought it into the kitchen so we could all, smell the oils and everything. And then they ran a promo and I got 2 more diffusers. That was, around Christmas time, and we've never stopped. So I ended up sharing kind of just because I was like you said, Michelle, like everybody should know about this. This is remarkable. I'm so excited that he's staying healthy. He's not coughing anymore. And then this community of people that were so encouraging, offered great advice on things when I had questions, just really opened my eyes to a whole different way of approaching health. And so it kind of opened my eyes to fragrance, and I was the lover of candles and plugins and wax burners and all the things because I like things that smell good, but I had no idea how harmful those things can be, including like the cleaners that I was using. So it just really got me on a path of pursuing health and making changes where we could to create a healthier environment. And we have been forever changed. Like my son, he's not been diagnosed with strep since that, and that was over 9 years ago. So not that I'm doing everything perfectly, and we're not aiming for perfection, but we have a really much more, healthy environment in our home. And our oils are what we go to first, like before anything else, So yeah, the Thieves on his spine, the RC in the bedroom, and eliminating the fragrances that were in our house made a huge, huge difference. And then the cherry on top was knowing that I could also use oils for emotions, for emotional support. Like that was something I'd kind of struggled with in the past, and, was looking for kind of a better alternative, and that has been a remarkable bonus in using oils. They're totally my go-to for emotions, and yeah, we diffuse daily in all of our rooms now. So we've come a long way. So
Lauren, you touched on a couple of things that I just want to highlight because I love so much. Like you use the word environment, and I kind of wanted, I really picked up on that word because I feel like in our community where we talk about oils and everything, it's actually an environment, like you said, we're not, we don't promote, like, we're not against anything in particular, but we encourage and we share a lot of ideas about how to just do things better, like learn more, do better. And I feel like our community is one of like, of grace and just learning each in our own, way at our own pace where we're at. And we just like welcome, in anybody at whatever part of their journey that they're on. And there's not one end goal, like everybody gets to choose.
Right. And I'm so thankful that nobody like made me feel ashamed because I didn't know what I didn't know. You know what I mean? Like with, dryer sheets was one example. Like I said, I love things that smelled good, but now I switched to a healthier option. I still like things that smell good, but just knowing that there were other options, but nobody made me feel bad for not knowing.
Yeah.
It's been really encouraging.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I would love to hear more from my friend Amy on how she got started.
Let me actually, Lauren, tell me how you got started in the business. Like what interested you in actually sharing it with other people?
That's a really good question. I kind of like you said, I didn't get into this to like have a business of any kind, but once I knew how they worked and specifically knew like this brand, this company is like, I'm so grateful for the level of integrity, the process that these oils go through from beginning to end, that they take such care in knowing that they're creating a great product. And once I knew what they were all about and how well they worked for me, I was like, oh my gosh, people should know this. Like there's another option out there. And I've said this a million times and I'll say it, like I will forever use these things. It's been 9 years now and I'll be using them regardless. I'll be ordering all of our monthly stuff. So it's just nice to be able to share with people why I use what I'm using. And it's easy to do throughout the day. I just end up sharing on social media a lot in person too. Went to the plant store today and the girl there knows me and she's like, ooh, I smell your oils. She knows, but once you try them for yourself and you have a profound experience with something, whatever it is, you want to share it with people because you never know who might be impacted by your story and, your experience. So yeah, it was just kind of a bonus to be able to make some money doing something that I would be doing anyway, that I really enjoy. And yeah, it's been a huge blessing.
One more thing that I want to ask you is that like you and I feel like I've always known you, but I only actually know you because of Young Living.
Right.
and now that's so weird to me because like, how did we actually like meet? Like when did that even be? It's a rhetorical question because like we're so connected now, even like outside of business things that, like the three of us are planning our next little health spa day.
I know. It's so true. That's so true.
We just have such a great community.
First time when I got a phone call from you, a personal phone call, and I remember being like, Michelle is calling me? Oh my gosh. That was several years ago. But yeah, that's one thing that's just been like something I didn't even know I needed or wanted was the community of people and the friends that I've made, in our organization, your team, and outside of it, just other friends that use Young Living who are an incredible blessing. And, the friendships that have blossomed has just been like icing on the cake.
Yeah, I think Young Living really like attracts like-minded people who are interested in like real things. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it because there's a lot of different elements to that. But
what's cool though, I think that there's so many neat people across the spectrum, like people that are super bougie, doing all of their amazing things and all the travels. There's people homesteading and homeschooling and all these things. And like, there's a place for everybody. And that's what I've found to be so like interesting. Cause there's like you said, there's people I would have never met if it hadn't been for this company, and just the community of people that come together just kind of all looking for the same thing, but maybe, you know, in different veins, whatever it is, whether it's physical health, emotional health, financially, yeah, time freedom, whatever it is. It's so neat to meet people from so many different walks of life that I would have not been exposed to without this.
Oh, for sure. And then get to do different projects like this
Yes.
and, you know, different retreats and all our different things that it's sort of like, oh yeah, that's a business thing.
Yeah.
Have I mentioned the tax write-offs? For like being able to go and travel and call it business? It is business because we are,
Yeah.
but like, you know, we can go and have lunch and I get to write that off. So like, I'm not giving you tax advice. I'm just saying like, because it's so much a part of our lives that you do end up like writing off a lot of things. So just another little bonus, but you know,
Right.
it's a good one. So
Yeah. Amy is another one that I'm so thankful that I met. And she's somebody that I look to for, you know, advice in all sorts of areas of life. So yeah, if it hadn't been for Young Living, I wouldn't know her.
Yep. Yep. Hey, Amy, you want to tell us your story?
Sure, yeah. So I'm super excited to be able to share my story. I love when people ask me to share the story because it's just like that invitation in. So I have actually been a part of Young Living since 2010. And I got started when so we were just recently before that found out that our son was diagnosed with high functioning autism, and we were just trying to figure out life, and we were you know, all the stuff that comes with that. And I just remember one day someone we at the time we decided to homeschool because, you know, the traditional schools weren't working with behavioral things, and we were therapy after therapy after therapy, just time consumed with that. And so I remember one day we started a new co-op, and a lady was like, hey, do you mind if I put some lavender on him to see if it would help with his, you know, calm him down a little bit? And I was just dumbfounded. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to find some of that stuff. So that's really kind of our story into how we found Young Living. It wasn't right then that I ended up buying into, or, you know, buying our whole kit. We just started with lavender, but and that was based off of a sample that this lady had given us. And it was that kind of that selling my husband into, hey, you really need to see this. And then so another story about that same time, my husband, he ended up just not feeling well, and just kept not being able to recover to feel well enough to even go to work. And the same lady was offering me, you know, again, this whole co-op thing. And she you know, she'd mentioned to me one time, I guess, I don't know, maybe had a you know, a look on my face that wasn't very favorable. And so, you know, I shared it there, and she's like, well, you know, I have some more oils for him, you know. And so my husband was like, okay, fine, I'll do whatever it takes. I just want to get over this so I can go back to work. And so this was kind of like, you know, they say that sometimes we just have to hit rock bottom before we can rise again. And that's kind of what happened for my husband. And that was really, it was him that kind of was the one that said, okay, we need to just get our kit and we need to start using these and learning more about them. So it was actually the two like gateway oils into Young Living for us that really changed our family and just did a 180-degree turn for us was lavender for my son, and then oregano oil for my husband. And so it was not, I mean, there was no looking back at that point. Now, you know, fast forward to today, we've, you know, used many of the products. You know, now I have my own personal favorites, and you know, through that journey, I also didn't intentionally say, you know, I need to do this for a business, because remind you, I was in the throes of life of just trying to raise a special needs kid. I didn't have time to go do it in a business. Well, you know, as you live life and you're in your circles and you're, you know, at this doctor's appointment and this co-op, and you know, people start asking questions, and before you know it, you're building a team and you don't even realize it. And it was just an organic thing for me, and it still is organic. I don't pursue it on a day-to-day basis, as far as like, I don't get up and say, okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this. It's just a natural thing for me. And that's just how I live life. And I just feel like I'm called to share my stories and my victories in life, and what's helping and what's not helping. And if people want to come along with me, then I am happy to share the stories and to get excited with them over it. So
Amy, you have said so many great things. I just want to highlight a couple of things. So you were like not looking for something extra to do. I don't know that anybody's sitting around eating bonbons and like looking for extra things to do with their days. There are some people out there, and I admire them. But it's not typical. But sometimes, like we either, have to make more money or whatever. We make time for those things. And like you said, that was really awesome how you said, like, it just organically fits into your life because who you're talking to, well, they need this, like, and you see the need, right? Like you're just seeing needs around you, the people around you that you care about, they're telling you things and you're like, hey, I have a solution for you. Like that is as organic as it gets. Like that's like you being a friend, right?
yeah.
But Lauren, you're probably the same way. Like you didn't have like nothing to do. You have a busy life and kids. You both have, all of us have 2 kids, and, it doesn't get easier as they get older. Everybody thinks like, well, I don't want to get into that, but like, yes, your hands are full when your kids are little, even though our kids are not little now, like our hands are still very full. Your hands don't get emptier. That's what I've discovered.
Things just change.
Just find new things to fill in with.
Exactly. So that was really good, Amy.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell me, like, I know you said like you feel like this is your calling. Like, tell me a little bit more about that. Like, is it, because I know I have some thoughts about that too. Like, I just know, like, for me in particular, like, I'm just kind of amazed that, like, yes, the oils are a product. Yes, we have supplements and things, but the oils are the foundation of the company, and what, and the oils are infused in all the rest of the products. But I feel like one of the reasons why I love this is because it's not just a lab created product, but what's in the bottle is actually powerful, because Young Living is like honoring like how God created the plants, and as little as I like to say, as little as they interject themselves into it, the better the product is, the more potent the product is, the more that the product is originally how God intended it to be, the better it is. And like Young Living is just a steward of that. So like with no pesticides and herbicides, and that's really something that I can get behind, like as far as a product, but at the same time, like, yeah. That's what makes it so powerful is, and it's a company that honors that. And
Yeah.
it's especially in a time in our world where it's not easy to get behind a lot of companies and what they believe in.
Yeah.
So
I think also too, knowing that like, and you saying this is interesting. I had a friend reach out to me last week asking about a different kind of oils, and asked, my experience. And I was like, well, I haven't used them, so I can't speak to them, but here's what I know about Young Living. And the fact that, we've all been to the farms, we get to like put our feet in the soil, plant the plants, talk to the farmers, look at the distillation process, like happening right in front of you. So this is not something that we're just like, taking oils from the lowest bidder. Like we'll take your oils. Like we have specific partners that we've partnered with very rigorous standards. We have our own farms. Like, I don't know how many other companies can say that. And when you get to go see that for yourself and talk to the farmers that are there, who like love, everybody I've ever talked to there, like loves their job. And like, to me, that's pretty remarkable, like, I don't know if it's just that they like, I mean, some farmers, you know, they're like, they taste the soil. They can tell the differences in what's going on with the soil based on how it tastes. That's like fascinating and crazy to me. Like, but they're passionate about their job. And so getting to meet these people in person, like they don't shut the gates off to everybody. You can go and check it out for yourself. To me, that speaks volumes, like as far as transparency goes. And I'm always amazed by being there and talking to people that are doing that work. It's amazing to me.
They're very
Amy-
much an open book, very much an
Yeah.
open book.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Amy, that must mean a lot to you too, because like you have your own land and farm and everything, and now you know like what
It's
that
a lot of
actually
work.
means.
It's a lot
Yeah.
of work. And there's a lot of can't think of the word right now. It's a lot of work, and there's a lot of respect, I guess, that goes. I respect the time and energy and effort that's put into growing these plants, but not just growing them without herbicides and pesticides, and picking things by hand, and how they interact with nature, of like one plant grows best next to another plant. Like there's so much that goes into it. And I have a science background, and so that makes it even more interesting for me. It's amazing. I mean, how many other companies can you get behind and represent that allow you just to come in and not just to the farms, but talk to the people, that run it, that are at headquarters. Like, you know, there are many people that I follow on social media that are what they call ambassadors for companies, but do they get to go and like go to the company and talk to the people that run it, and talk to the owners and the founders and the people that's, you know, the supply chain people and all that kind of stuff? And I don't know any other company that does that. So that is just where I get excited about that. And that, I mean, the products are great, but I mean, there's just so much more that gets me excited about it. So.
Yeah, I have to interject there, because we were at convention together just a couple of months ago, and you were totally geeking out in the science section when you're like, it was like all that, I can't even remember, really long sciencey chemistry kind of words, and like you're like, this is my whole background, and you were just totally geeking out. It was so much fun for me to watch you get into the whole biochemistry, because that is your background. So that actually says a lot, that, you know, that happens to be your background, and you can really get behind what Young Living is doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really exciting, this new technology they're doing too. It's just, it's amazing. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Yeah, I don't even have words for it. It's very exciting. And if anybody has not been to convention, that's where it's at. Like you said, Michelle, I was just like, I was geeking out. I could have stayed there all day.
And it's 13 years for you too. So this isn't like and you've been to a ton of conventions. It wasn't even new. That's what was so funny. You were just like, ooh.
No. Yeah, it'll be 13 years in November.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah.
So great. Okay, so you guys can interject at any point you want to. You have anything else to add? But I do want to just give some closing thoughts. So if you are somebody who's listened to this and you're like, okay, that's something that I really want to look further into. Okay, I'm ready to do it, whatever the case may be. Yeah, I'm super excited that you want to do that, because we love it. And we, you know, welcome you with open arms in doing this with us. So what's expected of you? Let me tell you all the things that are expected of you. You can literally do this as much or as little as fits you, as you desire. If you know, like, this is my next career, this is my next thing, I'm in it for the long haul, great. There is a place for you. You can work as little or as much as you desire with what your goals are. That also being said, you know, and that's the thing, like, you get out of it what you put in it. You know, and depending on what you want in the long term, like, you need, like, there's nothing worth having is easy. You know, there is no free lunch kind of a thing. So it does, if you're in it for the long haul and you want some real, you know, some great income that's like family changing income kind of things. Yeah, you need things like grit and tenacity and, you know, making sacrifices for it. Anything worth having is worth working hard for. So there's a time and a place for working hard. You know, there's also a lot of not just perks, but great things about this. Like, you know, for instance, you can work wherever you are. I'm not at home. I'm actually with my husband. He's working. I got to go on a work trip with him. He's currently sleeping on the couch.
Oh, he's
He's not
awake.
asleep. He's not asleep.
He's like, you put me on camera.
He's listening, but we're actually at the beach. I haven't spent a lot of time at the beach. Actually, I was out there early this morning, but so again, like I still wanted to work. I wanted to work from here. I have things I want to do. I wanted to do this call. I want to invite people into this. We have, you know, some great things coming up. And so when he asked me, you know, can you come away? I'm like, I work from my computer. Sure. So it's a great benefit to be able to do that and show people how you can live life while working. You never know who I might meet here, and so on and so forth. So yeah, just a lot of benefits there. So if you think this business is for you, you'll want to make sure that you opt in as a brand partner. We can help you do that. Everybody starts in Young Living as a customer, and even a customer, like I said, can share and still earn a store credit. But if you want to earn an actual paycheck where they send you the money to be able to spend however you want, that is a brand partner thing. But there is no quotas. There's nothing like that. That is not how this works. And if, let's just say by chance, you have gotten a hold of this video because somebody shared it with you, and you're like, I haven't even tried oils yet. Okay, well, it's time for you to make a shift into oils. And we have a make a shift kit, and you can choose how you start, but it's not only the greatest way for you to get started, but it's a great way to share with other people how they can make a simple shift and get started. Okay, using oils, great education comes with it. Our community is amazing, not just for the business, but for customer education. Like we really help in our group, we really help educate and provide people with all the resources that they need in order to learn about how to use their oils. So what we do is not like what you have to recreate everything that we're doing. No, this is all here for you to use to be able to welcome people in. Okay, so if you need to, get your oil kit, right? And then you can opt in as a brand partner. But let me give you a little tip as you are considering becoming a brand partner and doing this as a business. So if you're like, I really think I want to do this, that is not to say like you're suddenly in sales and you become salesy. And because a lot of people, and this may be one of the things that you're thinking is like, oh, if I do this, do I become like that cringy girl that everybody avoids? Because no, you don't. You are just as natural in talking about oils as Amy and Lauren have been, right? Nobody's lost any friends over this, okay? And so don't think that that's suddenly something you have to become. You don't suddenly become a promoter. I would just suggest that you take note on how you're using your oils in a very natural way. I've been doing that on my social media recently just because like we're in a totally new place and all I brought was my Make a Shift kit. I did bring a couple of other oils like lemon and so forth, but for the most part, I'm just using our starter kit and our basic oils. I can do almost everything with them. And so I'm kind of in a really natural way just showing people all the things that I'm doing. Well, think about that. Think about what your first impressions are with different oils, just how you're using them throughout the day. And literally that's all that people need to know, right? That's what you want to see. How do you do that? When do you do that? Which oils should I choose? Like that's what people are wondering. And so if you just take note on how you're using them and the questions that you have, that's the best way for you to help somebody else in a really organic, natural, authentic, non-cringy way. Don't get weird. You don't need to. That's how we share, right? The company is really organic. You can be really organic too in the way that we share. So, and it's totally okay to also say, I have no idea what I'm doing. Learn with me. You do not need to be an expert. That's one thing I'm trying to say here. Nobody's an expert. I'm still doing things. Every Tuesday night, we have a customer call called Table Talk. We all share, literally anywhere from 200 to 500 people get on this call, and we share about, and we listen about how other people are using oils, right? That's how, and I'm a constant learner, 13 years in, and I'm learning. That's my point of view on this. I will always be learning, and nobody's an expert, okay? There's no degree that you should get. There's nothing, okay? So when you bust open your bottle, and that's how I started. I literally got my first customer when I was like, okay, I'm using my lavender. She's like, I want some too. That's as simple as it is, right? I mean, I bet that's the first story with both of you guys had, like your first customer, you were like, I don't know what I'm doing, but this stuff's amazing. Like, that's all,
It's still
right?
like
Exactly, me too.
Walk around smelling good too. Like you're using them for whatever you're using it for, and you smell good. People are like, what's that? That's oils, isn't it? You're like, actually, yeah, just easy.
Yes, just very natural,
Natural.
right? You don't change who you are or suddenly become something different.
Right.
And you don't wait to share until you know more. That is that is not a thing. That is not a thing. The thing that I love about this is that everybody has access. Nobody needs to be an expert in anything in order to try. Like the plants know what to do in our bodies. So just put them on and watch. Like, that's why I love being a promoter of this, because you don't have to like have a science degree, even though like Amy is really smart, but she doesn't talk about that. Like, she didn't talk about the biochemistry, you know, in order to get a sale. Like, that's not a thing, right?
nobody wants to hear that.
Exactly. Later on, that
Also,
might be.
though, I'll say like it's been made easier over the years when like I'm looking for a way to support our respiratory system. For example, like what would I do? And I go and look it up. Well, we all know, like when you go and look up things for yourself, you tend to remember them. So after many years of doing that, you're like, okay, I know that I need something for like this, like lingering kind of itchy throat cough thing I've got going on. What will support my respiratory system and my immune system? And that's, people are like, how do you know this? And I'm like, because I've been looking stuff up for 9 years. And like you said, learning from other people that are just like sharing their stories. And, okay, well, we'll try that next time. It's been very natural just to like gain more knowledge over the years, but it's not because I'm not a big sciencey person. So I'm not like researching things, but when you look stuff up for yourself, like I said, you just tend to remember it.
Yeah.
And you know what, Lauren, you bring up a good point, because it takes us right back to the community part, where we're all about like helping each other learn. It is literally like an educational community and an encouraging community where, you know, oh, how do you know that? Like, where did you look? Or, you know, and we're all just kind of sharing our ideas. And we do the same thing in business, right? You don't go and get a degree on how to share. And so like, if you think this is a yes for you today, like you're like, yeah, I need to do this. Like, I need to do this because I want to buy more oils where I started. I don't want an oil budget. Yeah. Because I knew he would have shut me down. Like, what are you spending on? Yeah. So let me just like add, you know, some funds to this. And that's where it started. And then it was just like freeing up more and more. And I was able to make decisions, you know, based on what my family needed. And so that was, you know, so that's where it started for me. So if that's where you think that you are and you do want to get started, reach out to me or reach out to the person who gave you this video, and we will help you get started. We'll make sure that you're a brand partner. We'll get you the, you know, we'll get you the starting things. There's the way that you become a brand partner is it's like currently it'll change in the next few months. It's actually going to be a no fee kind of a thing, but currently it's like $1. It's just a system technicality. In order to opt you in and choose the brand partner, it has to be a transaction. Little bit technical there, but that will be going away. But it's $1. Okay, it's $1 to get the brand essentials kit to become a brand partner. But anyway, we'll help you do that. Make sure that that's something, you know, that will allow you to get those commissions. And if you're watching this in September of 2023, right now we actually are getting started doing a 6-week program called Ignite that is actually going to walk you through the beginning foundational steps for starting a Young Living business. Now, if it's not September of 2023, those things still exist. Okay, we're still here for support. We're still here to walk you through how that is to get started. So don't let that stop you. But if this is your time that you're watching this right now, there's over 100 of us who are walking through this together. It's really exciting. And we're going to give you all the resources and all the encouragement and tips and tricks and everything to get started in a good, like, foundational way with understanding what this really is and what it isn't. It's not a big salesy kind of a thing, like we've been saying, and have you, start with a good foundation. So that's snoring going on in the background because he's just used to this. So we would love to have you join us. Just reach out to, again, the person who gave you this video, or me, or Amy, or Lauren. And we can't wait to, we can't wait to do this with you. Like, it's just so much fun. And yeah, who knows, maybe we'll be traveling the world together. So
wouldn't be mad about it.
No, wouldn't be mad about it. Correct. So any other closing thoughts that you guys might have?
I'll just say, as you guys are sitting here talking, you guys already mentioned it, but I just wanted to kind of hit it home again, as just encourage people. Like you said, Lauren, you over the years, you've just learned to look for, answers and find resources. And I just want to encourage people to do that, because the more that you do that, the more you become familiar, and the more you become confident. Yeah. And also remember, everybody's different. Everybody, one oil is not going to work the same for every person. And use what you have. Don't wait until you have to get a certain one. I think sometimes people can get hung up on those few things, and dial into the table talks. You don't have to show your face. Like, I'm not one to show my face all the time, but there's some awesome information, some great resources. Tap into the Facebook group that's here. There's so many great resources. And don't be afraid to reach out and ask questions. And then another thing too, when I first started really getting into meeting people in the community, I felt like I couldn't reach out to certain people because they weren't on my team. And that's what I love about Young Living. Everybody's a team. Everybody is in it together for the betterment of everybody. And you don't have to be on the same team as anybody. People are just so willing to help, no matter what team they're on, or where they live, or what group they're in. It's just one big family. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, that says a lot about
a good point.
Young Living atmosphere, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that you said that, because there's other, leaders that are very high up in the company who are so generous with their resources, with their graphics, with their knowledge, like their tips and tricks. It's not, to me, like, I have not found it at all to be a competitive environment, but very much an encouraging, uplifting place. And I'm super grateful for that. I would not thrive in a place that was competitive like that. That's not my jam. I would not
Me
do well.
too.
Yeah. Why I'm still here.
Yeah, me too. I'm not competitive at all. And yeah, if I were in that kind of environment, I would not still be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? There was one other point that I wanted to make, and it has to do with the fact that we, just that whole idea about how we, people think that when they start something like this, they have to become somebody that they're not, or they have to suddenly start doing things like, oh, I should go to one of those networking groups so that I can meet people. What are your thoughts on that kind of a thing? Because that sounds kind of cringy.
I mean, it's not for me, but I know it is for some people. And like, if somebody else is all about that and wants to meet people that way, and they're all sharing ideas and encouragement, I say go for it. But again, that's not for me. That doesn't mean it's wrong, for somebody else. But I like, let's just meet at a coffee shop and chit chat about what's going on and what are you learning and what are you seeing and how can I help you? And like, that's more my jam. But everybody's different. And that's why I find this so uplifting, is because there's room for all kinds of kinds. You know what I mean?
Well, let me ask you this, like, where do you meet people? Where do you find yourself talking about oil? Where do you talking to people about oils, or like, where do you find people?
Online is one. Another is just when I'm out and about, but I'm like literally
Influencer.
I mean, I'm of my little following. Yes. But the thing is too, I will just say, like, you never know who's paying attention and when they might reach out to you. It's literally been in several instances, I just have shared what I'm doing, and it'll be years and somebody will reach out and be like, okay, I think I want this, or how can I get this? Or I want that cleaner you talk about. Or so if you're just naturally sharing what you're doing in your everyday life, whether it's at the gym or at the plant store or at the local coffee shop, wherever it is. But I'm not one to walk in and be like, smell me, everybody. Like that feels so weird to me that, I just am living my everyday life and sharing in a way that's authentic to me. And everybody's different. And I love that.
That's good.
Well, I'll just add too. So that's where Lauren and I are so different. Lauren is more social media, and I don't do hardly any social media. So I don't have a social media following, much less a following and sharing Young Living. I just not feel like I'm called to that right now. And so mine is just face to face in front of people, like if I'm in the grocery store or whatever. And I'm a very introverted person. So, and people do smell it and they'll ask questions, and I'll just, I'm not really confident in like creating that conversation with strangers, but I'm finding that if I just have the eye contact with people, they just start talking to you. So, and that's where I find most of mine organically. So yeah, so it doesn't have to be social media.
Yeah.
Good.
And also, like, I've been out before and somebody had like a tickle in their throat or a cough, and I had a Thieves cough drop. And like, honestly, I would share that with somebody anyway, whether it was a Young Living cough drop or another cough drop, just to be a kind person. But, peppermint oil, when somebody's been feeling, a little bit nauseous or, whatever, those are things that I have with me. And so I will just be like, here, smell this and see if that helps, but I'm not trying to find a sale, that's just me wanting to be helpful. So I don't know if that makes sense, but I just am much more inclined to share in a way that's, I don't know, natural to me.
Yeah. And the reason why I bring up the networking group is because when I've done that, like, I've done it not so that I could find new customers, but because I actually really I love entrepreneurial stuff.
Yeah.
That is something I love. And so I've loved the groups that, we talk about that. But I also have sensed those people that are in those networking groups that are just hunting for customers. And I'm like this with that. It would be the same thing if and equally as cringy, if you start going to a church so you can find new customers, or start doing something so that you can find new customers. That's just a hard pass. That is not what we do. And I never suggest that.
I people through that.
Oh, exactly. And that's the thing, is that and it's not, we don't even really talk about that or discourage that because it's so not who we are, but it's because we're so authentic, the way that we, the way that we share and so forth. But I have found, like, when I'm doing something like where I'm at right now in my life anyway, is like, I love community. Like, I have a book club thing, you know what I mean? Like and a Bible study thing. And I love those people if I never share oils with them. Those are my people, regardless. And so it's like, and I like to meet people. I know that I welcome people into my life who I want to be in my life, and not because I want them to be a customer. Right?
Right.
Like, that is not me at all. And I would never recommend that. Because like you said, Lauren, people see through that right away anyway. But like, and I always say, like, I am friends with people, whether or not they ever want to use oils or not. They're my friend. Like, that's my goal anyway, is to find people like that. Now, if I'm a genuine friend, they might like trust my suggestion, about oils, if it comes up or whatever. What is that you're using? That just comes from them knowing who we are. And so that's just a natural part of this business. And so if you're watching and wondering, like, where do you get customers and how do you not be weird? Well, that's how.
Yeah.
That's the do and the don't. So, okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure that we covered that, because I think that's just such a interesting point. I know how you guys feel about that. So, well, this has been great. Thank you for doing this with me, you guys. And again, if you're watching this and you're all in, or if you just want to see what that's about, or if you're a customer and you're like, tell me more about that store credit that I can get for referring people, you can do that. And you could do that now, all you wanted. And then later on, like in 3 years, you could be like, I think I'm ready to do this a little bit more. That's great. Now you've set yourself up to, continue to get commissions. So nothing is lost. Okay. Everybody in their right season, this will come to them. And so, if it's for you. So if that's the case, I'd love to talk to you, start that conversation with you, help you out in any way that fits your life. And I hope that this has served you well. That is definitely our intention. So thank you guys so much for being here with me.
Yeah. Thanks for letting us be here.
Very good. Okay. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.